Hello everyone, and welcome to Take 10 Yoga. We're going to start seated on our mats, so you're welcome to lift your hips up on a cushion, a pillow, a folded blanket, or a block, or any prop similar to one of those items. Take a moment to reach back and shift your sit bones back and broad, and let your low belly come forward so your low back is long. Roll your shoulders onto your back and lift through the very top of your head, and then bring your head back into the back plane of your body. Take your gaze directly forward and allow your gaze to soften. Start to take in all of your surroundings without looking at anything in particular. Allow your breath to become slower. A deeper inhale and a longer exhale. Take one more big inhale. And on your exhale, allow your eyes to close. Return to your natural rhythm of breath. And begin to ground into your space. Notice when your feet press into your mat. Feel your hips connecting with your prop or the ground. Gravity is connecting you to the earth. Notice when your clothes touch your skin. Tune into the temperature of the room. Can you feel the air move around your body? And then allow your awareness to move to any sounds that you can hear. Allow those sounds to come to you and feel your ears receiving that auditory vibration. Follow those sounds all the way into the ear canal. Draw hands together to touch at heart center in Anjali Mudra. Press your palms into one another and then bring your wrists more in line with your elbows. Thumbs come in towards your heart. On your next in-breath, lift through the top of your head. And as you breathe out, bow your head towards your hands. Take a big breath. Softly open your eyes and release your hands down to your legs. Roll your shoulders onto your back and lift through the collarbones. Drop right ear to right shoulder and take a big breath into the left side of your neck. Inhale back to center, left ear to left shoulder, and then breathe into the right side of your neck. Take ear to shoulder a few times so that you're lengthening from your ear all the way to the tip of your shoulder. And then with your head back in center, you're going to turn your left palm up so it's facing towards the ceiling and rest it on your leg. Roll both shoulders back and drop right ear to right shoulder. Take a full breath. Right hand comes to the outside edge of your head and gives just a gentle press, and then reach the left side of your neck to the side. One more big breath. Use an inhale to come back. Roll your shoulders back. Right hand turns up and rests on your knee or your thigh. And then left ear to left shoulder. Take a big breath into the right side of your neck. And then your left hand comes to the outside edge of your head. Just a gentle press with your hand and then resist with your head. Reach your neck muscles to the right. Use your inhale to come back to center. Roll those shoulders up, back, down, and forward. Really exaggerated circles here with your shoulders. Notice how the chest, the back, and the tops of the shoulders feel. And then roll your shoulders forward, down, back, and up. One more in this direction. Draw those shoulders onto your back. You're going to bring your hands to the floor right in front of you. And if you have blocks or a step stool, maybe a box, you can use that too. On your inhale, let your pelvis come forward, heart come forward, take your gaze up. On your exhale, press your fingers into the floor, curl through the shoulders and look down towards your feet. Inhale, let your heart space come forward. Exhale, let your pelvis tilt back. Inhaling into a cow-like pose. And exhaling back into a cat-like pose. Stretching through the spine. Let's do one more round with more breath. Good, then come back to your neutral spine. Walk your hands towards your legs. We're going to move to hands and knees so you can put your blocks to the side and you can put a blanket underneath your knees if you'd like. Set up wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, and then press your hands into the ground. Grip the ground with your fingers. Roll your shoulders onto your back and lift open through the heart space, the collarbones. Find a little bend in your elbows and draw them in at your sides and then tone your low belly. Engage your glutes. Try to send your sit bones back and broad. And then you're going to slide your right foot back, toes to the floor. Start to pulse through your lower leg, so stretch your calf as you press back. Work through your ankle and toe joints a few times. Good. And then come forward so you're not pressing your heel back. You're going to pick up your right foot and cross it over your supporting leg as far as you'd like. And then take your shoulders over to the left and breathe into the right side of your body. Use your next inhale to come back to center with your spine, knee to the floor. Bend your elbows, draw them in at your sides. Pinch the ground with your pointer finger and your thumb. Engage your core and slide left foot back, toes to the floor. Work through your lower leg. And then come forward on your toes. So you're going to pick up your foot and cross it over your right leg as far as it feels comfortable. Take your shoulders to the right and breathe into the left side body. Good. Inhale, come back to center. Knees are going to go wide. Press your hips back towards your heels and walk your hands out in front of you. Let your forehead come down to the floor, or you can always rest it on the prop. As you breathe, notice the movement of your back as you inhale and exhale. Might be a lot of movement or really subtle movement. No judgment, just notice. On your next inhale, you're going to press yourself back up to hands and knees. Grip the ground with your hands, draw your elbows in at your sides, engage that low belly, tuck your toes and lift your hips back into your downward facing dog. In your down dog, you can pedal out your legs or take any movement that would feel good as you stretch your body. And then come to stillness in your down dog. Bend your knees until your tailbone towards the sky. Press your hands into the ground and reach your hips up towards the ceiling. On your next inhale, you can step or jump to your forward fold. You're welcome to grab blocks if you'd like. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen to your half forward fold. Reach through your spine. Grip the ground with your toes. You're going to leave a bend in the knees and then fold farther. Let your head hang if that feels okay. Take a big bend to your knees. Your arms are going to go wide. Press your feet to the floor as you inhale and rise to mountain. Exhale, hands to your heart. Look down at your feet and make sure that your feet are inner hip distance apart and your toes are pointing straight forward. Pick up your toes and then spread them and then grip the ground with your feet. Give yourself a little bend in your knees and tone your low belly. Shoulders on your back. We're going to bring our hands to our hips. You're going to start to lower your hips by bending your knees. And I'll turn sideways so you can see. So as you lower your hips, you're going to shift your shins back so your weight is in your heels. And then send your sit bones back and broad. Tone that low belly and lower your hips a little bit farther. Maybe shift your shins back. Squeeze your legs towards one another. Your shoulders are still on your back. Lift it through your heart. You're always welcome to bring your hands together at heart center in your chair pose if you'd like. Good. Take one more big breath. Inhale, press your feet to the floor and reach. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen to your half forward fold. Exhale, plant your hands on the floor or blocks. You're going to step back with your right foot, but you're going to go about 2 to 3 feet, and your back toes can point out at the side, but you want to try and bring your heel to the floor. Bend into your front knee and squeeze your legs towards one another. Inhale and rise to your warrior one. Reach your thumbs and fingers, pinkies towards the ceiling. Exhale your hands down to your heart. In your warrior one, you want your front knee right over your shin and your ankle. You're wrapping that left glute down and under to help keep your knee open to the side. Your back foot, your toes are kind of pointing out to the side, but you can always take a shorter stance and that will help with your toes. So tone that low belly. Good. One more big breath here. Start to straighten your front leg. And then again, you can take a slightly shorter stance, so step forward with your back foot. Turn both feet so they're pointing to the front of your mat. And then you're going to bring your hands to your hips. Leave a little bend in your knees so you're not locking your joints. And start to hinge forward. You can walk your hands down your legs. You can stay lifted, supporting yourself at your thigh. Maybe come down to the shin. Don't press on your knee. You could always come to blocks or the floor even. So whatever feels good in your body. But I want you to be drawing that left hip back so that your hips stay parallel with one another. And try to stay long through the spine. Open through your heart space. Your shoulders are relaxed away from the ears. Take one more breath here. Good. You're going to bend into your front knee, put your blocks aside, plant your hands, and step back to your downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, you're shifting your shoulders forward, walking your feet back. You're pressing your hands into the floor. You can always have your knees lowered on the ground. Keep your elbows in at your sides and gently lower down to the ground with your exhale. Untuck your toes, roll your shoulders back, press your feet to the floor, and engage your core. And then you're going to press your hands into the ground, curl your head and shoulders up. You can lift as high as you'd like up off the ground or stay lower. Take a big breath. Press up through hands and knees or plank. Make your way to your downward facing dog. Inhale, step forward, forward fold. Exhale, bend your knees, arms wide. Inhale and rise. Exhale, hands to your third eye. Inhale and reach. Exhale, fold. Plant your hand on the floor or blocks and step back with your left foot into your warrior one. So take maybe a shorter stance. You're trying to bring your heel to the floor, toes out at the side. Front knee is right over your shin and your ankle. Squeeze your legs towards one another, press your feet into the ground, and then take your hands towards the sky. Lift through your pinkies and your thumbs and take a big breath. Good. Exhale your hands down to your heart. You're wrapping this right glute down and under so your knee is staying open to the side. And then tone that low belly. Roll your shoulders onto your back. Start to press your front foot into the floor and lengthen that front leg. You can always step forward a little bit, but try to turn your toes so they're both pointing towards the front of your mat. A little bend in your knees and then bring your hands to your hips. You decide how far you're going to fold. Take some big breaths and give your muscles the time they need to relax and stretch. Your muscles relax a little bit more on every exhale. Take one more full breath. Inhale, you're going to bend to your front knee, put your blocks aside, plant your hands and step back to your downward facing dog. Take your hips a little to the left and a little to the right, lengthening your side bodies. And then with your hips back in center, bring your knees down to the ground. If it would feel good, you're going to keep your knees narrow, hips back towards your heels, and walk your hands out in front of you. Let your forehead rest on a pillow or your mat, and take a full breath. With our legs together, as we breathe, we're compressing our abdomen into our legs. So don't force yourself to take a breath that's too deep. Just a full natural breath. Take one more big breath here. And then inhale, walk your hands towards your legs. Put your block aside. Let's bring our hips all the way to the ground. And you can take a comfortable seat, whatever feels the best. Roll your shoulders back. Take right hand to the outside edge of your left knee or thigh. Left hand back by your hip. Keep your shoulders on your back and use your exhale to twist. Use your inhale to come back to center. Left hand to the right knee or thigh. Right hand back behind you. Re-engage your shoulders on your back first, and then draw in your low belly as you exhale and twist. Inhale, back to center. Let's bring our hands together at our hearts and allow your eyes to close. Bring your focus to your breath. Honor yourself for taking this time for you. Namaste.